seconds here. All right, go ahead.
Well, Asher, that is something you want to coordinate among your team. Or I don't know, who are you asking? Are you asking us?
No, I'm asking
Or are you
like
asking your
on
team?
behalf of my team.
Okay, I'm gonna begin now. Hi everyone, I'm Marley, and me and my group, which is Asher, Enrique, and David, we worked on the information kiosk at Snug Harbor. Next slide, please. Okay, so our project description was basically for all of us to work together to create a kiosk that was functional for visitors at Snug Harbor, which would be easy for them to use and get navigation around the site.
So our client preferences include a supply of maps for Snug Harbor, safe positioning at the location, an awning for all weather conditions, outlets for technology inside the kiosk, exterior lighting, and safe electrical wiring, a mini fridge, and COVID safety precautions. Next slide, please. So this is our mood board inspiration of what we want our kiosk to look like. Just pretty much a rough draft. We want it to be a sturdy material because it's by like a body of water. It's going to be cold, and if there's maybe like heavy rain, heavy snow, we want it to be reinforced so nothing gets broken. We don't have to rebuild again. So the materials that we're looking for pretty much is wood, steel, and glass. But most importantly, glass, because we want no contact because of COVID-19. So we want no contact with the people that we're going to be serving at Snug Harbor. And yeah, our examples. Next slide, please.
So here are the needs of kiosk. Some things we might need inside: refrigerator, desktop, awnings, and here we have prices. Refrigerator, we have $162, and we compare it to another one, $949, and we just choose between prices, make sure it fits the budget.
For our site analysis, we figured that our kiosk takes place in Snug Harbor, which is like in a park zone in Staten Island, and surrounding the area would be some schools, care centers, dining spots, parks, and businesses. And if we were to look about like traffic and movement, we could say that it'd be fairly dense. There'd be a higher traffic area around the area. Next slide. So over here we have a map of Snug Harbor as a whole, with the kiosk being towards the middle of the map, where you would see an italic I. And next slide, please. For our site photos, we decided to take a look at 4 different locations, each pinpointed on the map towards your left. Point 1 being the front right corner view of the kiosk, 2 being southeast view of a glass house that's right next to the kiosk, view 3 being view of Sailor Snug Harbor Administration Building, and view 4 of the front view of the kiosk with the Culture Center building in the background. Next slide.
So here we have SunPath. So it's important to know the SunPath so we know where we can position our kiosks and make sure there's enough sunlight inside the kiosk. And here we have the current kiosk. As you see, it looks like old and doesn't really pop out, and there's not much space inside. So that's why we need a new kiosk. Resident studies.
So this is the first precedent study that we made, that I made. It shows one of them in New York City, located in Manhattan. It has an awning. It has all the 3 client preferences. It has an awning, COVID-19 safety precautions, and it has enough space for more than 2 people. And in the first one up top, you see how the glass is surrounding it in about a 4-foot width, and that limits interaction from others and weather, because in case it's hot, whether it's cold, you're still gonna have that opening, that space, that barrier that comes in between. And the only downside about that is that the bad weather, the glass could possibly break. But the one below that is more reinforced. It has metal all along the outside, and more like a thicker material for that. Next on you. This is a kiosk located in Germany. Another great use of inspiration that we picked out, and I have some pictures of all sides, even the in-depth blueprint of it. And the materials for this are pretty much the same as well: steel, wood, no glass. Yeah, glass actually on the inside to keep in the heat. And yeah, those are the photos that I picked out. Next slide.
All right, anyone?
This is David. I'm not sure if he's having mic issues or not.
Oh, my bad. I forgot I was muted. So for my president study, I did the kiosk at Revela Gym, which is located in the Fort Island at the city of Bergen op Zoom at the Netherlands. It was part of a fortress that had been built sometime in the 18th century and is made of bricks and wood while having a glass roof, although you don't see it in the image. And for today's modern usage of the kiosk, it's used as a public bathroom as well as an information point for the island. Next slide. So the images you would see here would be a front view of the kiosk in the bottom left. And at the top left, you would see an inside view of the kiosk. You would see the glass roof from the top, and bathroom front, you would see a sink. And on the right, you would see an elevation drawing of the kiosk. Next slide.
So here we have a folded metal kiosk, and this was designed by London architect OfficeMate, and it opens like a paper fan, and the inspiration was by folded paper forms of Japanese origamis. And this specific kiosk serves as like information points or like DJs at events. And I feel like this kiosk would be good for Snug Harbor because it like pops out. And we can make some changes such as the color of it if we want to. So the top right and left, we have how it looks before it was made. And the bottom photos show like the prototype and design they used.
Okay, so for my president study, I focused on the Cube Pavilion by OMA, which is located in Hong Kong outside of a popular mall called the K11 Musea. And from this, I was able to take some of the elements that I thought would be a good idea to add to our kiosk. So the first thing that I was able to take away was the sleek and geometric design. In our site study, you were able to see kind of how all the other buildings at Snug Harbor were very old-fashioned and had a lot of old-fashioned elements. And I feel that this pavilion would kind of be a more modern effect to add to it. The other element is the color of the kiosk. You can't really tell from this photo, but the outside of the cube is lined with anodized aluminum, which basically gives it an iridescent color, which I also think a bold color would be a good idea for our kiosk as well, like I said before, because all of the buildings at Snug Harbor have a very kind of nude and monotone color scheme. And then the last point that I made was that the kiosk is placed in a convenient area, which is outside of the mall, which would be a high traffic area. Next slide, please. And then from these images, you're just able to see that there is an awning that you could pull out. And then from the bottom center image, you get to see more of the placement of the kiosk.
And
Is this the end?
okay, I'll wrap it up. Our overview for the information kiosk is that it's a place of guidance where you can ask for directions and seek help for specific desires. There are really important places that are especially big, such as Snug Harbor, Information Center, and the Botanical Garden. And with like roughly over 50,000 visitors per year, that's a lot of people coming in, and we want to get them to where they need to be and give great customer service. Thank you, that's all.
Okay, peer feedback. Any volunteers?
Myra, your feedback, please.
So for this presentation, I really thought it was very well organized. You guys didn't have like a lot of text or way too little text, like it was just right. And I also really liked how you guys had like several visuals, like it wasn't just words, like there were visuals going along with the text. And yeah.
Myra, what can they improve on, or is there any way they could better their presentation?
When I was looking at their presentation, like everything was kind of a little like the slides were they didn't make sense in the sequence they went, in my opinion. You guys could probably just switch up like in what order they were placed, but that's the only thing I can think of.
Thank you. Megan Golden. Megan Golden. Okay, moving along. Ryan Singh. Your feedback, please. Ryan.
Yeah, I agree with Myra and her statement about the presentation. I believe it was very organized and it was straightforward. One suggestion I do have is one of the slides earlier. I saw they actually have their names on the slides. I don't know if you go back to it. I saw Asher's name on like the top. Like yeah, you like the names. I feel like you could take the names off of who did the slide because at the end of the day, it's a group project, and you could just say your slide and we could know like who did what at that point. But I feel like you don't need to actually state who did what slide.
Yeah, maybe you could put the names of who will be presenting what in the speaker notes. Not many people tend to use speaker notes because it just goes over people's heads when they're doing a presentation. But speaker notes can come in handy for stuff like this when you need to memorize your slides.
And one more person, Dimitri Brown. What are your thoughts? Your case. Something different than what they say. They stated.
So the overall presentation, I felt it was good. Every member of the group, I felt they were confident and they knew a lot of background information on the information kiosk, and also their very own concept of what they wanted in the information kiosk.
Thank you, Dimitri. Okay, so one thing I want to, before I even interject, whenever you guys state going forward, because I know that you guys, I believe that you guys taking notes and girls are taking notes. So I'm giving the benefit of the doubt. Before you know that you're going to be called upon when it comes to constructive criticism, whether the things are done well and things that need improvement on. I want you to be able to, like Ryan did, which I like, was to say, go to that slide, go to that slide. So now, as opposed to saying, oh, they did well, that's the most common thing that we hear. We want to hear facts, like the resource behind it or the information behind what you're saying. Like, what did they do well? Go to the slide in which they've done well. So you're supposed to take notes in terms of, okay, I like what they've done. And you'll be able to say, go to this slide, this is what I like. And they need improvement on, go to that slide, this is what they need to work more on.
Right. And Mr. Cody, just to add on to what you were saying, you guys should also generate questions for the presenters as well, and see, just to check in for, if they have the information that's needed. You guys can also refer to the materials that we've been providing you guys with, right? The site analysis checklist, the architectural precedent study document. You guys can look at those things and see if the team has actually met those requirements. A lot of you guys are providing feedback, but we need to start now providing feedback that relates to the objective and the deliverables that we're working towards.
Yeah. So, excellent, Rodriguez. I like what you said. That's perfect the way you said that about feedback and questions. So, feedback. I might take that word feedback away and just continue to say facts, because I want you to, everybody on the side of my voice, I want you to give facts back, not feedback back, but facts, so that there is no positive, there's no thing not done well. It's just what was stated and what's in the document that you need to cover. So each and every one of you, I'm just going to stop right there. Whenever we start a presentation, make sure you have Miro there. You have all the tags generated in front of you, so you know that did they cover all the checklists before you say what was done and what was not done. Okay? That's all. I'm done. But other than that, I like the design aspect. I like the kiosk ideas, the mood board. It's hard for me to see the written information, but I'm not going to get into that. You guys can work on that later on. Kessler could chime in if you would like to about when it comes to the textual information. That's more towards his realm. But other than that, I like the way this is going, and I see that you guys are producing work. And one more thing, please, like Justin Hunter stated, please know which slide that you're presenting, because if this was a mock presentation in front of our stakeholders, they would be like, wait a minute, what's going on? They don't even know who's going first, who's going second, who's going third. Yeah, that's it. I'm done. Kessler, take over.
I just comment on the writing. There are errors. When people see errors on presentations, it's like, you're not taking this seriously. So you need to remedy the mechanical errors, or else it's a complete turnoff to your audience. You want to be taken as professionally, and you want to stand up there or present your screen and have some sense of authority that you're there and people should listen to you because you have good ideas. Once you see your slides are just littered with grammatical, mechanical, spelling, capitalization errors, it's like, what's going on here? So you guys remedy that, and you all should be fact checkers of one another's slides. So just don't say, that's not my slide. It is your slide because it's part of your group. As Ryan said, take the names off the slides so all slides become the groups. Okay, so if there's an error on a slide, you're all taking the heat for it and not just one person. So check one another's slides, take the names off. The whole presentation is the groups. All right, I'm done.
Yeah, Mr. Kessner, I just want to add a couple of things. So when it comes to images as well, and Asher, did you need to have your name there as the title, or is that the name of the case study that you're presenting?
Oh no, it was like just the title to just mark my slide that I'm presenting.
Okay, so you may want to avoid that, just so it doesn't confuse people, because I'm over here thinking that, I mean, if I was someone else, right? The project is called Asher. Is that what it is? Is that what the case study is showing me? All right. Another thing you want to keep in mind is when you guys are putting in the images that you're gathering for your case studies, be careful with items that we see like a Lamy stock photo, right? You should be using the crop tool to make sure that the only thing we're focusing on is the photograph of the architectural piece, right? And make them bigger. Okay. Do some of the verbiage, right? Some of the other comments that I have here, and you guys did a really good presentation at the beginning, right? And this was also, we've seen that you guys have done, have made progress, right? So we do see that. We see that also you guys were last minute merged with David Aquije, right? So there's a little bit of things that you guys have to work on in terms of the flow of the presentation, right? But you guys should be, I got a little bit confused when I saw the mood board and the budget before the site analysis. Do you guys think about the order of the presentation by any chance?
No, not really.
Okay, so that's something that you guys want to work on. And I recommend that maybe start with the project statement, right? Defining the problem, showcasing existing conditions of the area, then introduce your site analysis of your understanding and your research of the site, right? And then you can bridge into your sort of proposal statement of what you're planning to do there, and then present your case study, which is your architectural precedent. You guys do have a strong precedent study. I do have to say that, because everyone's pretty much focused on the project itself. But I just felt like the presentation was a little bit all over the place. All right? And we're just trying to give you guys, feedback that hopefully you guys use and then start acting upon.